you really don't have to look too far to see why it's important for us to continue gathering and speaking out. I mean, even within the OTC, the official tonal community is one of the most supportive communities, on Facebook. And I'm not crazy about Facebook to begin with. I'm there really just for tonal. But when we post about LGBTQ issues or about the group, there are always at least a few negative comments. And it reinforces why we need to be where we are, why we need to be here and show a presence.
Time to hit the gym, better do it smart. Get your own coach, there where you are. Start the day right, there in your home. With the smartest gym in the world, ready, set, go. Smart handle, smart bar, smart training, there you are. Customizing it right, AI, form advice. Superset will show you what it's all about. It's a tonal workout.
Welcome to the Superset Podcast, episode 43. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. Hi.
Hi.
My mic won't stay in place. I let go of it and it was like, hi, I'm welcome to the Superset Podcast. Oh, let me fix that for you. Hi. So,
I think if you turn this little guy or this little guy, one of these.
Fun with sound. So now I'm like, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Oh, geez. Yeah, righty-tighty.
This is like tools. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Come on. I don't even change my own wiper blades. You do that for me.
Somebody's got to do it.
I know. And that someone is you. So thank you.
I kill the bugs in this house too. Yes.
Yes, you do. Because I am a big scaredy cat. They're so gross.
I know.
So, you know what? Maybe we should talk here about we're doing a little field trip if anybody lives in the general vicinity or has lots of miles and they want to fly to St. Louis for no particular reason. But we're getting together with listeners of this podcast and our other podcast.
Yes.
And we're going to spend the day and we're going to go to a concert where I work.
Yeah.
We get to see where I work and be like, oh. But if you like your yacht rock,
or sail rock, as people call it.
Yeah, most people say yacht rock.
I know. As other people are going to ask, what is yacht rock? We get that a lot.
Yeah,
so.
But yacht rock is like that. Like, just Google yacht rock because it's got a funny backstory. But it's like the soft rock stuff. It's a subgenre of soft rock from the late 70s. Early 80s. So like Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald are kind of the big names from that.
Yeah.
Steely Dan gets lumped in. Well, this is like an evening of that kind of music. So you're going to get Firefall and Orleans and Pablo Cruz and Player, Baby Come Back, and Walter Egan, Magnet and Steel. So all that, just an evening of hits, just people pounding through big giant hits of that era. And we got a suite.
Yeah.
And there'll be food and beverage and it'll be all sorts of fun stuff. So if you want to go, let us know. We'd love to have you. And I mean, it costs money, but it's not crazy expensive.
It's $90 for the suite. That includes food and beverage until it's gone.
Yeah.
And then if you are interested, we're kind of how we're counting it is once you've paid via Venmo, then you're good. You're all in. So we still have spots left. We've got about 20 spots left. So feel free. We would love to have you. It'd be so much fun.
Absolutely. So what, pray tell, do you have in store for people?
Marriage. We're going to talk about the latest instructor to get married. Pablo has some amazing news we have to hit on.
Okay.
And of course, there had the Friends and Family event in New York City. We got to talk about that. New tonal gear. There's all kinds of updates on the community calendar. Tons and tons and tons of new content.
As always.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn. Wherever you find podcasts, you can find us while you're there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. And maybe leave us a review if you would be so kind.
Yes, please. That would be great.
You can also stay up to date with us throughout the week in between episodes at facebook.com/supersetpodcast. And you can watch us on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/theclipout, the name of the other show, all of our episodes live there, and we'd love to have you. So there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
Coaches in the news.
Coach Jared got hitched.
He did. And if that wasn't enough great news for you, they're expecting a baby, and it's going to be born next month. How exciting. Yeah, congratulations to the beautiful couple. And so there's, I'm laughing because the amazing pictures that are showing on the screen. So hopefully you're watching the YouTube video, but there's so many good pictures from the wedding. Everyone looks amazing and healthy and happy.
And they have
had a donut bar. Oh, I love the donut bars. That doesn't seem very fit.
He's allowed a cheat day. Wait, can you cheat on your wedding day? Let me ask my ex-wife.
Absolutely gorgeous pictures. Again, congratulations. It looks like a beautiful wedding.
So some fun news from Coach Pablo. Not that getting married wasn't fun.
No.
I don't want someone to read into that statement.
No. Just like a different kind of fun.
It's a different kind of fun.
It is. This is so exciting, though. You might remember several months ago, we talked about Coach Pablo being in Bologna, which is like queer male burlesque. And it's a show, and there was a documentary. And this is so exciting. Their documentary was picked up by North American, like for North American distribution by Gravitas Ventures. So this is super, super exciting. They are slated for wide digital release on June 7th. So awesome. Coach Pablo will be posting where you can see this, and it will be coming on VOD platforms soon.
And it also got a write-up in Deadline Hollywood, which that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. Yeah. Deadline is a very big deal.
Absolutely.
It's so exciting. And there's Coach Pablo. Okay, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
Coach Pablo.
There are more pictures here. I should have scrolled through. So, but and then it also won an award.
It did. How exciting! They got. They were nominated for an award.
Oh, sorry.
We think they're going to win.
Yes.
So we're excited. But they won. Dang it. They were nominated for a WOWIE Award. But you can cast your vote, and you can do it every day, once a day until Sunday, May 15th. And that's when the winners are going to be announced live from RuPaul's Drag Con main stage. So you can use the link to vote once a day. Let's all vote.
So we were watching television the other day, as we are wont to do, and you saw a certain someone in a commercial.
I stopped dead. I was like, oh, it's Coach Paul. And there he is. He's right there on TV. It was so cool. He was doing an ad for Viore. I don't even know how you say it. Viore shorts.
I don't know. But we didn't listen. We just watched.
We didn't. You know what's funny is we never watch live television.
Yeah.
Like ever. And so it was just a fluke that it happened to pop up and we saw it. But how cool is that?
Now we got to figure out why he's labeled as a fitness instructor instead of a tonal instructor.
Why doesn't it say tonal?
I don't know.
I want to know. The inquiring minds want to know.
But so it was on, I think it was on CNN.
I think it was,
it's probably running on all those sorts of networks.
I heard other people chimed in and said they had seen it before. So it's probably just we're late to the game because we don't watch TV live.
Right. But if you do watch TV live and you watch new stuff, maybe keep an eye out.
Yeah, so cool to see our coaches out there. I love it. Congrats to Coach Paul.
Look who's talking about Tonal.
So Tonal had a big friends and family event in New York City.
They did. It was like at one of the showrooms in Tonal, and Coach Woody was leading a 20-minute workout. You could come in just for the workout. You had to sign up for that, or you could sign up and say, I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to be doing the workout. And so it was a very community event. How exciting. And up on the screen, if you're watching now, Kate went live in the official Tonal community and kind of walked everybody through the space, which looks amazing, by the way.
And recent guest Alon Nager was there.
Yes, and he was showing pictures. He got a picture with Coach Woody, and he got a picture with a bunch of the people who were there. And he got a picture with Kate, of course. So it looked like a lot of fun. And they had a balloon that said, be your strongest there. So I'm pretty jealous. I wish we could just flit off to New York anytime we wanted, Tom.
Maybe one day. There is new tonal gear for people.
There is. It's Tonal's first capsule collection, and it's with Sweaty Betty. It's a huge deal. This is a very big deal. Plus, I don't know if anybody else out there noticed, but there was tonal jewelry. I had not noticed that before. Maybe it's not new, and I had just missed it, but there's the little tiny tonal, carrot up thing, and you can get that on a necklace. And then there's there were words that you could get. It looked really, really cool. All of this stuff looks beautiful.
Now they need earrings of little guy front, little guy back.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Maybe save that for like Halloween. So they're gonna look like skeletons.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think it would really be amazing.
I think it would be amazing if they made it. It wouldn't be amazing to wear.
Yeah.
But there is all kinds of really cool stuff there. I want to buy one of everything.
They'd be good cufflinks.
They would be.
Especially like if you're a coroner.
Yeah. Look, wait, a coroner.
A coroner. Like working at the...
No. Yeah. Okay, so Kate, we would like to get little guy front and back cufflinks. You'll wear them all the time, right, Tom?
Well, I did work at a morgue for a while.
That's true. You did. You did. The pandemic.
Yes. And a reminder that the T-Locks are back in stock.
So the thing about this is they end up selling out real quick.
Yeah. So by the time you hear this, they might not be.
Because this was April 29th.
Yeah.
This got posted. And we're not recording until May 8th. So it might already be gone. Tom's pulling it up. Are they in? Are they in? They're still in stock.
They're still in stock. So there you go. I was right.
Yep.
Mark this on your calendars. I was right about something. The community calendar has been updated for people for the month of May.
It does. And so we've got events for tonal moms, tonal dads, the tonal LGBTQ and allies group, and the tonal XXL community, all up on the May community calendar. All kinds of events. You guys don't want to miss these. You want to be sure and check these out. So we will have the link for this up on our group. And of course, it's always over in the official tonal community. So you can make sure you're connecting there.
Tonal had an interesting blog post about 5 tips for designing a stylish home gym.
Yes. So I was, perusing like I do. And this blog stood out to me because they have all these pictures of beautiful workout spaces, all equipped with an amazing tonal. And it made me want to start from scratch in our room. Back when we got it, it was amazing then. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now I feel like we need to start over. So I don't know.
I cluttered up because I finally started. Now that I work out, I messed it all up.
Yeah. No.
I'll stop.
No. But I feel like now we need a statement wall, We need a wall behind the tonal that stands out and really puts the focus on the tonal.
For the 2 people that touch it in the house.
Exactly. Exactly. It's beautiful. Lots of great ideas in this article, though.
Absolutely.
New tonal features.
So Ginger Mahoney posted in the OTC something that might or might not be new information for people about Beats Pro earbuds and your tonal.
Exactly. So I have been using my Apple Watch for a while now. And one of the things I love about my Apple Watch is being able to use it for turning the weights off and on, shuffling through the music, things like that. I was not aware that your Beats Pro earbuds, if they click the button, it pauses the program. Ooh. So that's really awesome if for some reason you need to pause, like the kids come down and interrupt you or whatever.
Right.
Maybe you need to stop the clock.
Right.
Whatever is happening. So
you gotta pee.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So
you get a delivery from your new T-Locks and little guy front and back earrings and cufflinks.
Yeah, and you got to hop up and get those at the door.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to miss out.
How are you going to pause it?
Right? Now
Beats
you can
Pro
pause.
earbuds.
There you go.
Boom.
Done and done.
New tonal content.
There is a plethora, if you will, and you will, of new tonal content.
Yes, absolutely. New quick fit. We've got Upper Body Push by Coach Jackson. And it's an entire upper body workout in only 10 minutes. And then there's Quick Fit Straight Up Arms. That's another all about the arms, 11 minutes. We've got Quick Fit Self-Care Sprint with Coach Amy. And this one is a short but fast-paced workout, 14 minutes, full body. This is one of my favorites, the Naptime Tune Up with Coach Amy.
Oh, I like. So I get to take a nap?
No,
I'm in.
no.
I'm in.
No, this is like while the kids are taking a nap.
Oh, that's some BS. That's bait and switch right there.
And that one is another full body, 13 minutes. Energy for moms. This one is another full body in 14 minutes. This one's a high intensity that emphasizes deep core work. The last two from Coach Amy are both good they are safe for expecting moms. So that's great. Then we also have new yoga back bend basics with Coach Francis, new bar
bend.
Yeah, like doing a back bend.
That just sounds.
You a little scared?
A little bit. Yeah.
You need to do it. Yeah, I'm sure you could do it. It's only 32 minutes of trying to bend your back. You'll be fine. Bar boot camp with Coach Francis, 20 minutes, full body. And new mobility, morning mobility with Coach Nicolette, 15 minutes, full body, waking up. New recovery with Coach Francis, all levels, lower body, 11 minutes. And then another new quick fit, lower pull with Coach Natalie, lower body, 13 minutes. Lower body lift off with Coach Trace, lower body for 12 minutes. And then more new yoga for everyone with Coach Nikki, 23 minutes. Rise and flow with Coach Jake, 14 minutes. New mobility with Coach Allison. This one's upper body. And then new recovery with Coach Gabby, 16 minutes of full body. Meditation. These are some of my favorites. Good night gratitude. And this one is from Coach Jake, 19 minutes. Lots of good stuff.
No, I think of that like he's doing the whole class in the rhythm of Good Night Moon. Good night gratitude.
We'll have to ask him about that.
There are a couple new tonal talks upcoming to check out.
Yeah, both of these look really cool. So one is called The Science of Recovery, and it is with Christian Hartford. And
he has letters after his name, so you gotta listen to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you already know you're going to get good information because there's letters there.
I'm going to add letters to my name.
Are you?
Yeah, like he's CSCS. I'm going to be like ZZZZ.
Oh, I thought you were going to say top.
No, like I'm just boring people.
Oh, you're putting people to sleep. Well, I mean, sometimes when you get going on pop culture stuff.
My monkeys nerd. When I nerd out on monkeys trivia.
Yeah, exactly. But this talk is all about the science of recovery. And I think that a lot of us tend to overlook recovery. Maybe we don't stretch as much as we should. Maybe we don't do the foam rolling and things like that. So I think I'm really looking forward to this. This takes place on Wednesday, May 18th at 7 p.m. Central Time.
And then also coming up is Strength Made Them.
Yeah, this one I'm also very excited about because this is a talk from all of the community members. Not all of them. There are 4 community members that are
That would be a very long talk.
It would be. Yeah. It would be really, really long. But this is going to take place on Wednesday, May 25th, 7 p.m. Central. So that'd be 5 p.m. Pacific. And this is highlighting 4 community members talking about their story and how strength made them specifically. So I'm very excited about both of those.
Tonal Book Club.
We have a new entry for the book club, My Friend Fear.
Yes, and I'm not sure what to think of this book. Now, Kate said she was a little skeptical of it when she first saw it, but now she's super into it. And it's by Meera Lee Patel. And it's kind of geared towards somebody who feels like they are on the brink of something great, but that nagging voice in your head keeps pulling you back.
Yeah.
And then it helps you kind of get past that. So... Interesting. Curious about this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
In case you missed it.
We have a new Tonal Spring Sports Challenge.
We do. So this is going to be the challenge for the month of May. So there's going to be 2-week groups of programs put together. So the first one is with Coach Nikki. It's Intermediate Unstoppable Strength and Sweat program. And then you're going to move to, for the second 2 weeks, over to Coach Trace and his Advanced Muscle Buildup program. And so the idea is that you're going to get a lot of focus on getting your running kind of on course.
Okay.
And that's why it's Spring Sports Challenge. This is gonna help you get back up and running. Coach Nikki is gonna give guidance on how to take safe strides, and then you'll go through the program. It's 8 days. Then you'll switch over to Coach Trace. That's where the muscle build up, and you're
so it's
also
like a relay.
It kind of, yeah.
For runners.
And then it's basically going to kind of pair up running and golfing, kind of those two focuses. So it's a good way to...
Is there a lot of running in golf I'm not familiar with?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, not running in golf, but there's a lot of people who run, there's a lot of people who golf, and there's a lot of people who do both.
Gotcha.
The idea is that it's a spring sports challenge. So it's getting you ready for spring, but it's also doing it in a fun way using programs that obviously Tonal just put out, and you should be a lot more excited about, Tom.
Well, keep in mind, I know nothing about sports.
I mean, I know that.
I thought I made it very clear for people. It's kind of part of my brand.
But yeah, it's going to be kind of a fun mix of adding two together to put one out. So cool.
Kate had a fun post just about what happens when the households get together.
Yeah. She had a picture, and it's like there's just like 4 people in front of the Tonal all doing Tonal.
Looks like they're worshiping their Tonal.
It does. I think they're just doing that fun ISO squat hold.
She's like, this machine paid for this house, and you will show some damn respect.
Worship my Tonal.
Bow down before it or get out.
Very, very fun. I love it.
And then finally, Joe Wetterhahn had a nice post.
Yeah, on a much more serious note, one of our family, our Tonal family, Trapper Surleys, he posts inspirational videos all the time in the official Tonal community. Sadly, his wife suffered a severe neurosurgical emergency on Easter, and she's been in the neurosurgical ICU since then, and she's had several emergency procedures. So what we are hoping is that you will hear this and you will send support to Trapper and his family. Lots of people have been posting a burgundy ribbon for cerebral aneurysm and stroke research. And they did that in the last weeks of April to show support. But there's many, many ways that you can show support beyond that by sending messages or just, maybe donate to the cerebral aneurysm stroke research. There's a lot of things we can do out there, but most of all, just send your love and support to Trapper and his family.
Absolutely.
Checking in with the Tonal community.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Patrick Curreri. Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited you're here. I like to always start off with these interviews and kind of find out your background. So, like, when did you first come across Tonal, and how did you decide this is for me?
Well, it's a tough question. So, my husband Joe is sort of the techie between the two of us. I'm happy being as unplugged as I can be, and he needs the latest and greatest technology. He was first to pick up, the Peloton and some other, physical fitness toys. And I just kind of roll my eyes at it skeptically. So it was sometime during the pandemic. It was early 2020. He and I had both recovered from having, a COVID-like illness. Back then, there wasn't testing, but we were pretty ill. And not long after that, I came across a push-up challenge. And I thought, well, I want to get my strength back. I want to get back into shape. I tried to do the push-up challenge. I couldn't even do one push-up. And it was around the same time that Joe had found this cool new gadget, and it hangs on the wall and, miraculously causes you to build muscle. So that was, say, July of 2020. Joe ordered the Tonal. Now, I had forgotten all about it because, there were shipping delays due to the pandemic.
Sure.
And at some point in November, this thing shows up. I wasn't excited about it. Had I known now what I knew then, I would have been like, calling Tonal every day looking for it. But that wasn't the case. I saw this new thing hanging on the wall. I walked past it. It was collecting some dust. He had used it a few times. And I tried the push-up challenge again, and I couldn't do it. I could not do one push-up. And I said, well, we have this thing hanging on the wall. If it's there, it's not pulling the house down. It can't be that difficult. I'm going to actually try to do something with that machine for 30 days before we send it back. I did the assessment. It was kind of rough. And
I remember I literally, when I was done, I literally just lay down on the floor and fell asleep.
I have never seen anybody do that after working out. I mean, he literally right next to the tonal fell asleep on the floor. I was like, what the hell?
I can fall asleep anywhere.
Can you really see? I do that too. Like if our twins, our boys are just about 11 years old. And before they came along, nap time was part of my regular routine. It wasn't a day.
Yeah. Oh, it's because of the kids.
Yeah.
Sure. But as babies, I mean, nap time was my favorite time of the day. Right?
My youngest son, Brian, I have this whole collection of pictures of him when he was younger, sleeping anywhere.
Yes.
Like he would fall asleep in a grocery cart, in a laundry basket, like
in the middle of a concert.
The upright laundry baskets.
Yes.
I have one of him falling asleep at a hockey game. Like he could fall asleep anywhere.
And it wasn't just when he was like little.
Yeah, he's 7, 8, 9.
Oh wow! Sleeping through explosions. Sleeping through
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I get that.
He slept through my divorce. A little jealous.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Don't you wish you could have taken some of that, sleep time energy during that time?
No
right?
kidding. Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying about nap time.
No, it's well, after the first assessment with Tonal, I had nap time myself for about 2 weeks. I didn't take. I walked past it again until about Christmas time. And, I had already realized that it was a useful tool. I just wasn't prepared for it yet. So I tried it again, and my strength score was somewhere in like 170 to 200 range, right?
Okay.
Which is, for someone of my size, it felt a little low. But I thought, well, this thing, it's either right or wrong. One way or another, I can get stronger or I could get weaker. So let's see what this can do. And I committed to 30 days of sitting in front of the tonal, and some of it was meditation or yoga. And then I discovered Coach Francis and Gabby and Bar.
Okay.
And I can't dance. I have the gay gene. I can't dress myself because I didn't get that gene. I didn't get the dance gene, so here I am, I look like a fool practicing, these ridiculous bar moves. But I'll tell you what, it saved my life. All of a sudden I was able to do things I hadn't been able to do for years. I'm, suddenly deadlifting, 120 pounds, which going from not being able to do one push-up to that kind of weight felt like a real accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
6 months after using Tonal, I'm able to, pick up the boys and run around the backyard.
That's exciting.
It's priceless. I mean,
especially because they're 17. So that's quite the accomplishment.
No, almost 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost 11.
That's still 11 though. That was being silly, but that's picking up an 11-year-old is a lot different than picking up a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
is.
Yeah.
So, now my goal has changed, right? So now every year I'm expected to pick them up at some point, regardless of our ages. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
You better keep training.
I plan to, and our friend Michelle Kenyon Young, who we all know and love in the tonal community, introduced me to Oculus Supernatural.
Yeah.
Boxing and flow. So now on top of Tonal, I have this to occupy my time. I mean, nobody's eating here. Laundry isn't getting done. The dogs aren't getting fed.
But nobody's going to say anything because you learned how to box.
Right. And that's true. Pablo says that a lot. Coach Pablo, right? He says he learned how to box, and when he learned how to box, people stopped trying to fight him. So, if the kids come up to me now and ask me a question, I like to think I'm approachable, but maybe they won't ask the same question the same way they would have if I wasn't so strong. Right?
Just a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to intimidate my family.
But you're not above it either.
No.
If it happens as a consequence,
my starting
it's okay.
point. But it is on the table.
I'm not sorry about it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the tonal machine, talking about how this journey started. So I went from, being, I'll say, completely out of shape to today I am a body positive certified trainer.
Yay!
And if you would have told me 2 years ago or 3 years ago, hey, in a few years, you're going to be training other people on, being their strongest, I would have laughed, and everyone around me probably would have cracked up hysterically. It's just wild what Tonal has inspired.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, when you were younger, did you work out? Like, were you a person that had athletics in your life, or you did other things that were active?
I did play a little bit of basketball. It wasn't anything, professional or anything like that. I did, my husband and I were both, gym was our gay church. Like so many other people, we exercised just about every day in our late 20s, early 30s. And when the boys came along, all of that just stopped. Suddenly you have twin newborns who need to be cared for all the time.
It's a lot.
And it is. And that's one of the things about Tonal. It's the efficiency. If I had this device hanging on the wall when they were born, I may have never, fallen out of shape.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were in the gym and you were doing that in your 20s, you were probably lifting weights. So, I'm guessing if you were going that often, you were lifting weights.
I was actually, it was mostly body weight. There was very little actual weightlifting happening.
Really? Okay.
But the trainer that I was working with at that time was very much about, if you can't lift your own body weight, you don't belong lifting any other weight. And I get that. There's some truth to that. So that's, I was in great shape and I felt great about myself. And, that was different. It's different working out at 25 than it is, at 43.
Yeah.
It takes 3 times the effort, like everything else. There's not a magic pill like there are for some age-related issues.
I guess that's where my advantage. I didn't start working out till I was like 50, so I don't know. I don't feel like I lost ground when I do it now. I'm just like, sure, I guess that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I'm just I guess I'll never be fast. Okay.
Well, the thing is, in your 20s, if you're starting out with what society considers an average body type, you could cough and develop abs,
right.
And in your 40s and 50s and 60s, it's just not happening that way. And, I wish we could sort of move from this pressure of we all have to look a certain way to, everyone being their strongest selves. One of my things that I like to say to my clients and friends is your strongest day hasn't happened yet. And it's true on so many levels for just about 100% of the population. So there's always something to look forward to as far as self-development or building your body.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very true. So what about the Tonal LGBTQ and allies partner community? How did that come to be?
Well, it was actually a year ago in March. A few of us noticed that there were tons of LGBT folks in the Tonal group. Relative to the general population. It seemed like a higher proportion of folks just happened to be on the rainbow. And I had reached out to Kate, the community manager, and Coach Pablo, and others were doing that at the same time, saying, hey, can we have a gay group, an LGBT group? And finally, I don't want to say I got approval because it wasn't an official Tonal community, but they said, okay, everyone can start their own group if they'd like. And, a few of us got together and just started the group. We started off with about 20 members, and we're not that big. We only have, I think, about 400 members right now.
Yeah, but given Tonal's growth curve, I feel like that's kind of normal. You think back to it wasn't that long ago that the entire Tonal community had 400 people in it, so.
That's so true, and it's important to keep that in context. Also, the engagement level is ridiculous. Out of our 400 members, we have over 300 that regularly engage on different topics and comments, which is huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to keep people involved like that. It's so easy to join a group and then just never interact with it.
Yeah.
It is, Tom. And honestly, when I see posts like, hey, I just came out of the closet and I'm so glad I have this space to talk about it. And within the context of fitness, that's why we're here. That's the reason why we really started the group. And that's why we're so happy to see it expand and gain a little bit of, I don't want to say, I'm losing my word here.
Some growth.
Some growth. Yeah. Thank you. It's been a long Sunday. It's been a long day.
But that's interesting when you talk about like someone you wanting to talk about having just come out of the closet, because I think it's so easy to forget because the LGBT community has become so vocal and so mainstreamed that it's easy to forget that there are still people out there who are in the closet and don't feel comfortable. Like in a lot of ways, that seems like an antiquated notion from years ago, but clearly it's not.
Right.
And that's really a great point. You really don't have to look too far to see why it's important for us to continue gathering and speaking out. I mean, even within the OTC, the official tonal community is one of the most supportive communities, on Facebook. And I'm not crazy about Facebook to begin with. I'm there really just for tonal. But when we post about LGBTQ issues or about the group, there are always at least a few negative comments. And it reinforces why we need to be where we are, why we need to be here and show a presence.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you are there. I'm glad that people have a community they feel safe to talk about things within, that they know other people are going to understand. I mean, it's like, that's not something I've ever had to struggle with understanding, but like all of us have in their own ways. It's like with me being a woman, it's like, well, there's always things that men are not going to understand, and there's always things that women aren't going to understand. Like we all experience it from our own viewpoints, but obviously there's just some things that not everybody gets, and so it's good to have those places where you can talk about it.
That's so true. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I started the interview, my monthly session, asking some questions of one of our members. And our first guests were Kate and Morgan, because it was important for me and for the other group members to hear from the person that manages all of this community. Our second month was Dr. Liz and Coach Allison. Again, two very important women in the community whose voices just really should be elevated. Talking about LGBTQ issues coming from a queer perspective as a woman is so rare in the fitness community. So to be able to have that voice, it's really an amazing feeling.
So Patrick,
regarding the community, I apologize. You had asked about how we develop the LGBTQ community. Coach Pablo is a big part of it, just because, he is who he is, and he's an amazing human being. And when Tonal decided to make us sort of an official, say, subsidiary of Tonal, they gave us Coach Pablo as our designated coach, which is really exciting. It's nice to be able to work with him really closely on just about everything.
It's like when you start a group in high school, you need a faculty advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he is the adult in the room, which is frightening. And
yeah.
He would be the first to tell you that.
I was thinking it. I didn't want Coach Pablo to think I was not totally. I think he is the best. He is so funny. I love him so much, and I love his sense of humor. And gosh, he works people so hard. That smile and that energy is deceiving. He will kick your ass.
He does, and you get lulled into this. I did one of his pride workouts, and he starts off like, haha, let's do this dance. And all of a sudden, my heart is sent, I'm getting heart rate monitor messages from my watch that I'm about to die. And he's still on screen smiling.
Yes. Yes.
The app on your phone is notifying your husband.
Joe, go check on Patrick immediately.
The kids are counting their inheritance, and they're like, yeah, keep it up.
They're like, oh, damn it, he spent it all on the tonal. So I'm just curious, what was the process like going from an unofficial group to an official group? Did they just reach out and knight thee, or were there other groups you were competing against?
Well, there is a tonal gay group, but it's not as inclusive and that's fine. That is just it's a bunch of men who wanted to get together and talk about gay issues specifically for gay men. This was meant to be more of an inclusive community. So I don't want to say we were competing with anyone, and I certainly I'm not in a paid tonal position, but I do have other partner community volunteers that are so fun to work with. We have tonal dads. There's tonal XXL, tonal moms. I love the XXL community, excuse me, just because it's my go-to for modifications on workouts. If there are things I can't do, there's Coach Natalie in the XXL community telling me how to do something in a less painful way. So these other partner communities are so important. Tonal Dads has thousands of members, and dads working out have a different set of challenges than other groups. And same thing with Tonal Moms. You're juggling everything and trying to work out. So I think it was part of a general outreach mission, and I just try to spread the official tonal message whenever possible, which is easy to do because I believe in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It does make it easy. I agree. And I'm also curious, whenever you say it's inclusive, I can't help but notice the name of the group is Tonal LGBTQ plus allies. So does that mean like anybody who is supportive can join, or is that or do you have like certain criteria you need to meet to be part of the group? How does that work?
Well, I'll say no one has presented a letter from an attorney demanding to be let in.
Good. That's good.
And if they did, I'm not a tonal employee, so go ahead and send it. But the truth is, anyone who, believes that no matter who you are or who you love, you belong is welcome to join. That's really the definition of an ally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But I think that's a good message to send, because I know as someone who's not on that spectrum, I would see a group like that and be like, well, they want their own space where they, like I don't want to crash your party. Like, out of respect.
That was my interpretation too. And I thought, oh, you have like a space and that's like your space and that's okay. It never occurred to me until I was hearing you talk about inclusivity, and like, then I see the allies and I'm putting two and two together and I'm like, oh, maybe I've been misunderstanding that this whole time.
Yeah. And that's a great distinction to make. We need allies, if for no other reason, just to have that number behind us.
Yeah.
So we can continue moving forward in our mission. And there have been a couple of members, one person reached out and said, I'd love to join, I'm an ally. And I just feel like I am a straight, white, heterosexual male, and I just don't want to cramp your space.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I totally respect that, consideration. But we certainly appreciate anyone who, as I said, believes, no matter who you are or who you love, there's a place for you. That's who we want.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that. You'll be seeing my little my request soon.
We will certainly improve it. Any tonal member is welcome to join us.
Yeah, because as one of those cis straight guys, I'm like, there's plenty of spots for me.
Right.
Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to make somebody else feel uncomfortable with my presence if that's what would happen.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Honestly, I'll tell you, one of the most popular tonal posters is Trapper. And if you've been in the OTC, you have seen his videos, and he joined the group as an ally and just randomly post videos saying, hey, tonal LGBT folks, just wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you today. Have a great day.
Oh, that's nice.
And things like that. It means something. It helps build the overall community as well as, giving us a little bit more support.
Absolutely.
Totally.
So I'm curious, besides the community, which is amazing, what is your favorite thing about the tonal?
Oh boy. Well, I am a huge fan of efficiency. And you can't beat that with the tonal. The fact that I can get a workout in and done and out in like 22 minutes and feel like pain after I finished is just amazing. I like the programs over the workouts because there are moves that I would never do on my own that I'm forced to do in the programs. I love the rotational movements because they really do make you feel like an athlete. I would never do a rotational chop on my own if I didn't have to, or
I wouldn't even know where to go at the gym to do that. Like, I would be like, what are these machines? Like, which of these machines could even accomplish that? I would be too scared to even figure it out. I'm out.
Yeah. And if you tried to do it with dumbbells, you would end up, with, an impingement in your shoulder or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. So this idea of prevention of injury and, developing muscle as, we're getting into the 40s and 50s is just, it's too impressive to pass it up. I think, things like the Bretzel, I never heard of the Bretzel, and I'm a trainer now, right? So I did this because of Tonal, or Bulgarian split squat. I've seen it, but I would never do it unless forced to in a program.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Everyone feels that way. But they're so good for you. They're so good for you.
And so are Brussels sprouts. But
I love Brussels sprouts now.
You're a weirdo.
Well, see, now if you want to talk about food, that's a different issue. I mean, I'd say Brussels sprouts are horrible for most people, but a Big Mac is good for me because it makes me feel better. And that's the, I'm a radical believer in food neutrality. So that's been part of this journey as well. Like I eat everything. I don't track calories. I don't stop anyone from doing that. I do have clients that are really set on their macros and making sure everything's right. But I do believe in radical food neutrality. So you say Brussels sprouts and I get a little queasy inside.
I totally get that. And my problem with that theory is that I don't have a good sense of eating what I need to eat and keeping the stuff that's like unhealthy for you in large quantities. I am not good at keeping that to a decent human healthy quantity. And so therefore I have to track it, because if I don't, it's not good. It's not pretty.
Food is the new religion, right? Like, it's like, if you say anything about food, there's somebody out there that's like, you're doing it wrong, and how dare you force your food beliefs down my throat. And it's just like, it's just how I eat, man. Like, that's
yes.
Tom says, as the weirdest eater ever.
And I am a weird eater. I am.
Well, okay. So what's weird? Like, what have you eaten in the past week that's weird?
Oh dear God.
Well, in the past week, I've eaten the same 3 things over and over again, because that's how I do it. I don't have but yeah, like, I don't like fruits or vegetables. So
he eats zero.
I eat 0 fruits or vegetables. And like, now the way I get any is I found out that like tomato sauce counts as a vegetable. And so that I eat a lot of that, but it has to be like, and I know people that love tomato sauce will probably hate hearing this. It's got to be the Ragu traditional, like the stuff that has no chunks of anything in it. I don't want any chunks. I'm the only thing that's allowed to be chunky. And so I'm like certain textures also weird me out. And if it's like something slimy or there's something crunchy in the middle of something, I don't like that. Like, it's really weird. Okay. And so
So that takes out, like, he doesn't even like pie, like fruit pie, doesn't like it.
Nope.
Because it has fruit in it, so he won't eat it.
Yeah.
And so anything with vegetables in it, he won't eat, and he only likes separate foods.
Yeah, I don't like my food to touch, and I don't want like the juice from one thing on another thing. Like, no, it all has to be separate.
So when we say weird, we mean weird. Very particular. Very particular. But he's also not a complainer. Like, if we go somewhere, he figures out things he can eat, and it's not like he's like, everybody revolve around me.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm the weird one. So like, yeah, you guys make what you're gonna make, and then if I'm hungry, I'll get something on the way home.
Yeah,
which I've done. I've literally like, I don't think you and I have done it, but like, there were times when I've gone to like a fancy restaurant and like stopped for dinner on the way home because there's nothing there that I could get down. So I just kind of order something cheap, move the food around the plate, eat the bread, and then on the way home we get something.
I love the order something cheap part. That speaks to my soul.
I'm not gonna eat it. What's the cheapest thing on here? I'll smush it around on the plate. I can't tell you how many times we're at a fancy place and they bring out like some weird appetizer and I don't know what it is, and I'm like, to Crystal, I'm like, hey, eat some of this so it looks like I did.
So I have to eat like part of mine and part of his, so he feels
She'll
more
get mad
comfortable.
because if she eats all of hers, I'll swap them so it looks like I ate mine.
And I'm the picky one.
Yeah, and she's the picky one. So
he's like,
Wow,
God, I'm
so
sorry I asked.
yeah, weird.
So I want to, can we dig into this a little bit more, right?
Okay.
So when you stop for something else because the dinner meal was terrible, what is that something else? Where are you stopping?
Well, previously it would have probably been fast food, but like we've been doing MetPro and that's been very successful for us. But previously, yeah, it would have been like I'd stop at like a Burger King or something on the way home.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I'm a big fan of fast food.
Yeah.
You know, again,
but even then, I'll be like I won't want to go to I don't like McDonald's because they put those onions on the burger, and even if you ask them not to put them on there, it's still on there half the time. Or one sneaks through. Like that's the worst when you think you got a clean burger, and then there's a stray onion sliver in there, and it's like and it's like sneaks up on you.
And he literally makes that face when it happens.
Yeah.
Like he's not exaggerating.
You
It's a whole
cannot
thing.
sneak it by me. Everybody's always like, "Oh, you won't even know it's there." Which, first off, I'm like, "Well, then that's just waste of money. If I don't know it's there, then why did you bother to put it in there? That's just an upcharge for no reason. So to hell with you, sir." So, but if you take, like I said, if you take it off and you miss one, that's the worst.
Okay, I
will
love the
catch it.
frugality. Like I mean, you're talking. my most expensive clothing comes from Old Navy, so like, I have been known to wear the same flip flops for 7 years. Like the frugality
broke.
here, it's just absolutely, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I wore the same coat. My mom bought me a coat when I was in college, and I think I finally threw it away.
It was worn out.
Like when we started going out, like I was like, well, I guess I can finally let this go. Like I had it for like 25 years or something. So I'm like, it'll be back in style soon because I care.
Well, nowadays there are people who will pay for that kind of stuff.
Right? Right? But then
I'm
he's
sure
too
there's a website for that.
he's too lazy to sell it.
Yeah, that's work. Let's not forget, I'm the guy who fell asleep after taking the assessment. I'm lazy on a lot of levels. A lot of levels.
He's
But-
like, oh my God, I opened a whole can of worms here.
No, it's fine. You know, I love the analogy you made to food being the new religion. It's so true, and honestly, it makes me a food atheist, which just thrills me. So
Yeah. And I am too, for the most part. You know, like I don't care how people eat. I know what works for me, but I know what works for me might not work for somebody else. So it's like I don't get mad when somebody's like, that sounds insane. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that's
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
like whatever.
I absolutely
and
agree.
I'm with you. I mean, I tried, for years, the yo-yo dieting, of course, after the kids.
Oh,
came,
those
like
are
everyone
hard.
else.
You got to put a lot of salt on a yo-yo. They're very
but there's
chewy.
no pickles. There's no onions.
That's true. Yeah.
But I've done keto, and I've dropped a whole bunch of weight, and it works great for a little while. And then I found this and that, and it got to a point where, for my mental health, and I also struggle with body dysmorphia, so that can easily translate into other issues with eating.
Absolutely.
So I stopped tracking everything, just eat sort of intuitively, and understand that food has no moral value, neither good nor bad. And that's been life-changing for me. It frees up so
What
much
if you're
time in my
eating a
mind.
bald eagle?
You know what? If I'm wearing an Old Navy shirt, it matches.
Oh my God.
What if you're eating one of the last rhinoceroses on Earth?
Well, I mean, I don't think I eat anything with horns. I mean, that's just, if I can't wrestle it, I'm not going to eat it. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I have like 9 jokes
boy.
queued up in my head right now.
I was like, quick, change the subject. So earlier you said you like programs over workouts, and you also said that you kind of got into Tonal with the bar program. Are you not program, but bar workouts? Do you do other content? And you mentioned meditation. What else do you do?
All right. Morning routine is I do my program workout, whatever it is. Right after that, I follow that up with yoga. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long, depends on the day. And I save the evening for bar and generally some kind of meditation. I'm also a somewhat of a Peloton fan. When I'm away from my tonal, I like to do the Peloton strength workouts. And I follow that up with meditation as well. So I'm doing at least 3 activities a day. And I know that sounds excessive, and I'm always careful about what muscle groups I'm working at. I don't overtrain, but for me, I can lose the habit very quickly. It's more important to me to get that in every day than it is to build the biggest muscle in the shortest period of time.
Absolutely.
So, that's sort of my routine, and I do try everything. I mean, I think that the bar and yoga on tonal are some of the best I've ever seen, at least in the virtual world. And if Gabby and Francis can teach me how to, plie, then that's something.
I can't do anything like that or the dance cardio. Yeah. I like hard pass.
My, yeah.
I did it once by accident, and I just felt like such an idiot.
How long was your nap after that?
Yeah, it was a long time till I stopped hearing about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was like, I just felt so dumb, and I couldn't keep up. Like they're like, okay, do this. Like they got like 9 steps that they slam at you, and they're like, okay, go. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Like
I'm still back at step 1.
Right.
And just to be clear, that's because of lack of talent or following, like being able to follow that type of direction.
Yes.
Not because they don't instruct well.
No, that's me, and I'm just like, I can't keep up with any of this, and so I basically just ended up like running around in a circle for 20 minutes.
Got your heart rate up though. That's all that matters.
I'm like, this is not for me. I'm not doing this.
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, we have the virtual group workouts every Sunday in the LGBT group. And we have done a dance, and I pity anyone who had to watch me on camera. It was just sad.
Yeah, I was glad I was not being watched.
Yeah.
Like that would have been awkward. So do you have any advice for people who are new to the tonal community?
Honestly, back to what I had said earlier, build the habit. Do anything you have to build the habit. Make a commitment to stand in front of your tonal trainer for, at least a few minutes a day and press the button and do something. I mean, it can be mindless or as mindful as you want it to be. So I would just say, show up and let the tonal do the rest of the work.
Very good advice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, where can people find you in all the places? I mean, not your home address, but.
Well, I am my best place would be Instagram, Life Improved Fitness, and it doesn't get any easier than that. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but I generally respond to Instagram messages, and I put up a story at least every day or two with something tonal involved.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We really appreciate it.
We do. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. And remember, your strongest day hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, I guess that brings this episode to a close. Until next time, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or the tonal leaderboard at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/Superset Podcast. While you're there, be sure and like the page and join the group. And hey, if you've made it this far into the episode, you really, really like us, you should swing on by wherever you're getting your podcast from and maybe leave us a review.
Yes, please.
That would be very, very helpful. So we would appreciate it. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep lifting.
Smart handle, smart bar, smart training. There you are, customize, make it right. AI, form and vibe. Superset will show you what it's all about.
The Superset is made possible in part by support from Tonal.